Hi, Peter. Um, this video is going to be my reflection on my meeting with this guy who has sort of become my um, community based rather than school based mentor, um, which is to say that he's not an e-scholar and he doesn't have connections with UP other than the connection through which I found him. So I'll explain that a little bit. I met with him on February 16th at about noon. And the way that I got this meeting with him is at the Denver trip. Over breakfast, I struck up a conversation with Chris Shine, who does fundraising for the university. He goes and talks to people about contributing, donating to the university. And he is very close friends with Marc. And Marc has he's working on setting up an indoor growing operation in his garage. This isn't his first experience with urban agriculture. He initially was one of the founding members of this rooftop farm called the Noble Rot. And the Noble Rot is still up and running, and he's still involved in it. But it's a little bit more self-sustaining now, and so while he holds a stake in it, he's not as immediately involved. And so he has the time to set up his own system of indoor farming. He has about 48 sort of baking sheet size boxes filled with microgreens in circulation, which he sells to restaurants. They trim the fresh microgreens still in the soil for whatever use they're whether it's a salad or a topping or something like that, whatever use they need it for. And then when it's all just stems and soil in the box, the Marc goes by the restaurant and picks it up and composts the soil with the root systems in the stems, sort of recirculates those nutrients, and then gets back into it and sells them in another box. And it's a really brilliant business plan, I think. He's not got a lot of expenses on his side after he's made the investment in the soil, because he's getting the soil and the boxes back, and really he's just making a huge amount of profit on the microgreens themselves. And he's just doing this out of his garage. So the way my meeting with him went is Chris and I went over to see him working in his garage, and he kind of gave us a tour of the system. He built the tables himself so they could specifically get better access to the various trays, and he had grow lights coming down over them, which he had positioned at the proper height for giving them those nutrients, and then giving them those photons, or however that works. And I died. It was so cool, and I really love being around plants, and especially microgreens are just so cute and sweet and small. And he let me taste them, and they all had such rich and variant flavors. So after he gave us a tour of his growing operation in his garage, we went out to sushi at Mio Sushi, I think. And we just had a lovely conversation about the importance of changing agricultural practices in order to free up farmland, or free up land that was formerly used as farmland back to its original use, whether that was whether it's a watershed area or a place where there used to be an old growth forest, because a forest is so much more beneficial to the Earth's ecosystem than just having that land be used for farming, when we could be using it when we could be saving so much space for the natural environment by containing our agricultural like square footage through the use of vertical farming. So we sort of went back and forth on, oh, but what if, what about this counter argument? And oh, but you could also raise this point. And it was really, we got along very well. And I will actually, this Wednesday, today is the 25th, I believe, March 25th. So this Wednesday I'm going to be going over and helping him set up some more grow lights that he ordered to expand his garage growing situation. And in that process, since he does his own woodworking stuff and has more experience than I do in that, he's been very gracious in offering to help me with planning to make my prototype with PVC pipe and tubing and that whole setup that I'm planning on, but don't necessarily know how to go about putting together, I guess. So I really, really appreciated this meeting that I had, and I learned a lot from it. And in using what I learned, I'm gonna get a prototype out of it. He seems to be sort of the guy doing the simpler step to what I want to be doing. So he's doing urban farming, using grow lights, indoor farming, and then I'm wanting to say, okay, but instead of soil, let's use hydroponics. Instead of tables, let's use PVC pipes, that sort of thing. And I'm still trying to convince him that hydroponics are an equally viable way to growing plants as soil. So I'll keep you updated on that debate. But that's it. Thanks for listening. Bye.